if you're interested in building a kingdom and a legacy that lasts and a legacy that matters and a legacy that impacts generations to come, you make God your foundation. And the second thing is you got to remember what's most important. You and I got to remember what matters most. We forget what matters most. And there's only one thing that matters most, and that's love. How many times do we have to read it in the scripture? Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? Love. I want you to love God with everything you got and then love each other the way I want you to love them. That's the most important thing. Yeah, but what about all those other things? All the other commandments, the murder and the love, that's it. I've whittled it down. Took the whole Old Testament, all the Levitical code, boiled it down. This is what matters most, love. See, we don't reward love. That's why we forget that's what matters most. We don't reward love. We reward accomplishment. We reward appearance. It is amazing how much we reward how you look. We don't reward love. You ever been to an award show where they just gave it out? This is the most selfless human being ever, right? And we don't ever do that. We give awards to those who have acquired the most, who have achieved the most, who have accomplished the most. We forget, we don't reward what matters most, so we forget what matters most. And God says your greatness is gonna rise and fall on your capacity to love. Paul's letter to the Galatians, chapter 5, verse 6, the only thing that counts is faith expressing itself through love. 1 John, no one's ever seen God. Quit trying to act like you have. But God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God. How many times do we have to read this in the scripture? I'm telling you, when we die, when our life is complete and we stand at Judgment Day, I am absolutely, with every shred of my heart, convinced that God is gonna look me in the eye and he's not gonna ask me any of the questions that I think he's gonna ask. Where'd you go to church? How many times did you take communion? How'd you do confirmation? How often did you read the Bible? I don't think he's gonna ask me any of that. I think he's gonna say, Paul, what have you done with what you've been given? All the gifts and graces I gave you. Did you waste your life, spend your life, or invest in your life? What have you done with what you've been given? And how much have you loved? That's it. That's absolutely what I think God is gonna ask everyone that faces him. How much have you loved? Paul says it best. If I speak the tongues of angels, you know what that means? If I've got the eloquence of angels, the poetry of angels, the communication skills of angels, but I don't have love, it's nothing but noise and a clanging gong and a loud crashing cymbal. How many times do we have to see this in scripture? What matters most is the way we love God and love one another. We make God our foundation. We go to God and say, God, I'm tired of asking you to bless my plans. I want to figure out how I can bless your plans for me and my role in the world. That's how you build a legacy. And I cannot control all the circumstances of the next decade, but I'm gonna remember what matters most. And no matter what comes my way, I'm gonna try to express my faith through love.